So, as we all know, I am a really cool, pretty, and interesting person. However, there was a time when I was a little. Anyways, anime has such a bad rap. A lot of people think it's weird. It's like gooner content, or they think it's for like Discord mods, when in reality, it's really normal content. But what if I told you that there was an anime so good and so complex that it could even be compared to The Great Gatsby?
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Warning, this video contains major spoilers to both Cowboy Bebop and The Great Gatsby. Now, before I compare the two shows, we have to have a rundown of what both things are. So, the hit 1998 anime Cowboy Bebop is about 5 characters: Spike, Jet, Faye, Ed, and the adorable Ayn going on adventures to secure bounties. They go on dangerous missions, many times risking their lives to try and get this bounty money. However, their bounty hunting does not tend to go very well, usually ending in a character dying or getting arrested, leaving the Bebop crew with no money and pretty injured. Narrated by Nick Carraway, The Great Gatsby details a wealthy man, Jay Gatsby, who throws lavish parties hoping that his former lover, a married woman named Daisy Buchanan, will come. Gatsby spends the rest of the novel trying to win back the affection of Daisy while running into other problems. What if I told you that every character in Cowboy Bebop is a Jay Gatsby? Not in the sense that every character is chasing an unrealistic romance. I'll come back to that later, don't worry. But in the sense that every character has an unhealthy relationship with their past. Spike Spiegel is the main protagonist of Cowboy Bebop. He's calm, detached, and often seeks danger or risk just for the hell of it. Spike's past is mostly unknown. We can only infer based off of the few flashbacks the show gives us. Spike used to be a part of the Red Dragon crime syndicate on planet Mars. He was an incredibly skilled fighter along with his partner Vicious. After being wounded in a gunfight, Spike is nursed back to health by a woman named Julia. Unfortunately for Spike, Julia is Vicious's girlfriend, which causes tension between the two. Spike and Julia plan to run away and leave the syndicate, but Vicious gives Julia a final proposal: kill Spike or be executed. Spike fakes his own death and escapes. He then teams up with Jet Black to become bounty hunters. Spike is stuck in the past. This is best demonstrated through his eyes. He lost his eye in a tragic accident. He then got it replaced with some sort of cyber prosthetic. It is suggested that Spike sees the past through his fake eye and sees the present with his real eye, which means Spike is constantly reminded and living in the past. He has this cool and collected persona because he has no purpose in life. Spike lives like he's already a dead man, trapped in the past, finding joy only in the most dangerous and life-threatening missions. He has no purpose until Julia is mentioned. Jay Gatsby spent most of his life lying. He lied about his family, his wealth, his identity, and even where he went to school. He lies because he's running away from who he was before. His new persona is created entirely because he wants to impress Daisy. His relationship with Daisy is represented by the green light in the novel. A light that you can see and almost grab, but can't quite seem to reach. Daisy is married to Tom Buchanan. Though she's not happy, Tom Buchanan himself does not even love Daisy all that much. Faye and Jet similarly have unhealthy relationships with their past. Jet was a part of the ISSP as a police officer. He once had a wife and a regular life. He came home to dinner and he felt truly settled. That was until one day he came home from work. His wife was gone and left not a trace but a letter and a pocket watch. Jet carried the pocket watch everywhere he went, even when it stopped working. He left the ISSP after an awful injury and corruption within the police force. He struggled with the loss of his wife for many years, never being able to let go and never understanding why it happened. The pocket watch, now frozen in time, sitting as a reminder of what once was. Jet lives frozen and riddled by the past, just as the pocket watch never moves its hands. He lives as a bounty hunter, going day to day with Spike and the crew. Faye Valentine is introduced in the 3rd episode of Cowboy Bebop. She's beautiful, witty, and very smart. She often lies about the small details in her life. That's kind of important. Though she looks super young, she is actually 77. Her body was put into cryogenic freeze after a freak accident for 54 years. Faye woke up with no memories of her past life and loads of debt that she simply could not pay. After being screwed over by a doctor and his phony lawyer of a nephew, she lives a life of crime, eventually joining the Bebop crew. Faye is most like Gatsby. Because she lost all of her memories, she is obsessed with finding them and recovering what once was. She does eventually gain her memories back, but feels intense pain and agony, knowing that everything that she once knew and loved is gone. Just the way that Gatsby feels about losing his beloved Daisy to another man. They are both so obsessed with recovering something that is so unrealistic that they lose who they are and the people around them. Gatsby's death at the end of the novel was symbolic. Not only symbolic of the end of his romance with Daisy, but the end of an unattainable life that the people around him also sought after. His death was representative of the hopelessness the characters felt. But in Cowboy Bebop, the end of an unexpected character is what marks the end of the Bebop crew and their hopes. Remember how I said Spike had no purpose until Julia's mentioned? After she was shot to death by the Syndicate, Spike no longer had a purpose. Remember, without Julia, he's living as a dead man already. His final mission was to get the man that ordered death onto them, Vicious. Julia's death is symbolic of how impossible her romance with Spike is. They could not escape the life that they had once lived before. After regaining her memory, Faye loses her home once again after Spike goes on a death mission to kill Vicious because the Bebop crew was her home. Unfortunately, she realized that too late. As for Jet, Julia's death marks the end of his best friend. He struggled to trust after being betrayed multiple times, and Spike's death marked the end to that as well. What both of these pieces of media show us is that dwelling on the past doesn't do you any good. Go out, live how you want to live. Don't stay where you are because it's what the past you would have wanted. You may gain temporary happiness, but in the end, you're gonna carry that weight.